for fun. Hey guys, thank you again for joining us for another exciting episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. So today we are on Reflection 324, and this is a new book, but let's see what Chris has.
Yeah, it's a book's called The Fire Next Time by the author James Baldwin, who I had no idea who this was before I picked up this book. Just another one of those random books that seemed like it was interesting and no idea what it was about. And, I ended up liking it. Stuck around, saw what I liked, and, enjoyed the learning from it. Apparently, James Baldwin is a pretty famous civil rights movement leader. This was written back in the 60s. It's about the civil rights movement. It's about what it's really like to be an African-American in America at that time. It was a kind of a memoir of his life, talking about how we interact with each other and how life, it was a very provocative piece about racial inequality in this country and kind of what the actual lived experience is for an African-American in the country. James Baldwin was apparently a very influential civil rights activist leader, unintentionally. I don't think he was just a writer good at describing his life, similar to like a Ta-Nehisi Coates, I would say, is today, or something like that, where he's able to really express his lived experience and share it to the masses, and that's what James Baldwin was able to do. And this is a pretty famous book that became like a national bestseller, apparently. I guess I didn't really know much about it until after I read it, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, well, this is a pretty popular book, I guess. This guy was a pretty important guy. So it was the reflection title for this one is When You Have Nothing Left to Lose. And it was funny that I was reading this book. I finished it on, if you would have asked me, actually, I'm going to ask you, do you know what day Martin Luther King Jr. Day is?
No.
Do you have any idea?
Ballpark, but not.
Throw it out there. What month?
What month?
Yeah.
September?
You said September?
Uh-huh.
No.
Is it? No.
Not even close.
June?
No.
So you have October then. January. Oh, January. That's right.
So I was reading this book, if you remember a couple of reflections ago. This is coming off the New Year's celebration in New York City. So I finished this book on January 16th, and I had no idea that was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's the third Monday of January. Honestly, I would have thought it was February.
When people pick days for whatever reason, it's not really relating. Because the thing is, Martin Luther King Day. Why is a day important, right? When you're talking about maybe Independence Day, for example, that day is important. Then
right.
To me, yeah, remember that day. But when you say, hey, this person, he does all this all his life, well, you can't define it as a day. So to me, that day isn't representative of the,
Yeah, there's nothing tying that day to him. I mean,
No.
It's his birthday, but just to be fair, there's nothing super significant.
Nothing significant, that's right.
Right, other than that he was born that day. And I mean, that's cool, but nobody knows.
I mean, I don't even remember my birthday.
The only reason I'm even bringing this
up. The only person I remember my birthday is my sister.
Fair enough. I guess the only reason I'm even bringing this up is this is one of those universe moments again. I finished this book on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and this book's about another prominent civil rights activist leader. The only reason I knew it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day is because I finished it and I was writing the reflection. I looked up and I was like, oh, it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'm writing a reflection about James Baldwin and The Fire Next Time, and I just thought interesting, weird synergies there. So I was trying to figure out what was the universe trying to tell me after finishing this particular book. And I was thinking back to him describing his life and all the challenges that he's had to overcome. And he said this quote in here that just stuck in my mind, and I could not get it out. The most dangerous creation of any society is a man that has nothing left to lose, right? And he was speaking about this in terms of the lived experience. It was 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, and that was what these letters were written as a part of this piece that he was writing about. And he was just talking about how they'd been stripped of everything, for the most part. I mean, that's how they felt, that's how they lived. They really had nothing left to lose. We had taken everything from them, in his view, right? And how a lot of these people felt. That particular quote resonated a lot with me because it took me immediately back to the day that Amelia passed away, and lost everything, right? I had nothing left to lose at that point in time. Nothing mattered anymore. For me, there's something that happens when that happens, right? I lost everything that I was as a human being before then. My identity was gone at that point in time. The Chris that everybody knew before my daughter and before her passing wasn't the same person anymore. I mean, there were some remnants there, but for the most part, everything that I cared about was gone. It was dead. It disappeared. And I had nothing left, right? And these are the people, though, that, I felt a similar commonality with, an uncommon commonality with James Baldwin. I felt the same thing with Ta-Nehisi Coates when he was talking about his Between the World and Me that we did a couple months back. It's just one of those things when you know, when you strip it all down and you have something incredibly painful happen to you, and that is your reality, it's a different reality than everybody else lives. And that's why this reflection is, when you have nothing left to lose, it's what happens then, right? What happens when you have nothing left to lose in this world? Then you strip it all down to the most basic core, and if you could get through that, if you can survive, if you can keep pushing forward and enduring like Amelia showed me to do, and to keep fighting, and you can make it back into this world, that's the people that are the change agents that change the world, in my personal opinion. Pain and trauma subside eventually. Eventually it turns into something else, and call it purpose, call it whatever you want to call it. But the fire doesn't burn forever from the pain. But once again, if you can make it through that and turn that into something else, these are the people like the James Baldwins, the Rosa Parks, the Malcolm X's, the Martin Luther King Jr.'s, the people that have experienced a whole lot of pain, and they're willing to keep pushing through, and they can find their way to the other side and turn it into some sort of a purpose. These are the people that change the world. And like, this is something that I'll never forget, and I'll never be the same person again. I was talking today to my boss about Amelia. I've never had a chance to talk to him about this because he's relatively new to the business, and I inherited him as my boss. I like him a lot, but we've never really had a whole lot of time just getting to know each other personally, and why I'm here and what my purpose is. And this ended up coming up today in a random conversation. The way that I was describing my life to him and how I got to where I'm doing today and what I'm trying to do with my team, our Club Any Light program, if you would have asked me the same message 3 years ago, I would have been fucking angry. Not angry. I would have been, how do I describe it? I would have been this fire, this burning fire of like, I have to direct it all into this project, right? Like this is a singular focus, and I can't change that, right? And this is just all blazing, all the fires pointing toward this, right? The fire's still there, but it's like just a smoldering ember at this point in time that continues to light that path forward. But like the way that I can talk about it now, it doesn't go away. That fire is still burning, and that fire will never be put out for me personally, because it's from Amelia and it's what she taught me to do. It's just one of those things where, like, when you have nothing left to lose, man, like and you can make it through, like, you're going to keep powering through for the rest of your life and get the fuck out of the person's way, in my opinion. That's all I have to say. I resonated with James Baldwin and even though his experience is completely different than mine, it's just that similar sentiment of, you take it all away from somebody, and when they survive, watch out.
Well, I think there is a common core concept here. And for me, the way I see, based on what you asked in your question, what propels you forward is you. Because to me, a lot of times when we are born into a world, we're being wrapped up into this, we cover in many different layers of, I don't know what to call it, dirt, whatever it is, it's like, until you are really can break free of these layers of dirt and externalities that's not you, until then you become you. Like, hey, a diamond is probably going to get really covered in dust, coal, and whatever other things that completely over time covers the brilliance of the diamond, the brilliance of you. And I think if you are able to do that, whether it's through a self-discovery, self-exploration, or through like with James Baldwin, is he was forced to really go, because they take away, when you take away everything, the only thing that's left is you.
Yeah.
Right. And whenever it is you, then it is who you are. If you are a star, you're gonna shine. If you are diamonds, you're gonna shine. I mean, you are what you are, and you can't stop that. It's the purest element. And so whether or not it's by accident, like, I think James Baldwin, he was put into this position because it's by random chance that people trying to take away from him, but they can't take any more from him. Basically, from when I said there's nothing left for him, for me, and for you, right? Right now, what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to do and what you're trying to do is, I'm trying to not getting more things, but to remove things.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Remove things to reveal who I am as a person and live as that person. And because you and I have a certain characteristic, whether I'm a beaver, I'm gonna always find ways to build dams. It's just
Right.
the way that who I am. So whatever the characteristic of that element, you will always be that because there's nothing else for you to do. The only thing that's going to change you is you enveloped it in other things, becoming something you're not, right? This is when we have worldly possession. It changes who we are because it
Yeah.
covers the true person inside. So to me, like nothing is neither good or bad because the thing is in this random chance that this guy is suppressed, basically because he has different skin color. But that in itself is a blessing because it reveals who he truly is, and because he is who he is, he's able to have this burning desire to do the thing he's supposed to do. Because the thing is, to me, this is what I'm saying is, a lot of people think that everything's universal. Like, hey, what doesn't kill me make me stronger? I said, no, that's not the case,
Right.
right?
Yeah. It
It
really
depends
does. Yeah.
on the element because the thing is, if you are doing something that's not who you are, and I keep taking away, eventually you got nothing left and you will cease to exist. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you're gonna say, well, I take everything out of myself and I have this burning desire to do things, and the burning desire for you to do things like you do today, like it's who you already are. You cannot change who you are. Say, hey, I have some kind of a dramatic experience and I have become a different person. I don't think that's the case. I think it's who you are supposed to
I
be.
agree.
Out
Yeah.
without a bunch of bullshit is being, you know, topple on top of you, makes you a different
That,
person,
that,
and you like suffering through it. Now
yeah.
you're just uncovering, and that amber, like you said, that amber, it glows and it cannot be stopped. This is the
Right.
reason why you're unstoppable, not because something has happened to you, right? It didn't change you from internally. The only thing you can change it is to cover it
No,
up to make sure that it
it's
doesn't,
stripped away. It stripped away
right?
all the other crap, and it revealed who I really want
Really
to be
true, the true
in a
person
in a
inside you, and I think
yeah.
that's what drives you. Because you and I do this many times, and you say, "Well, I have this QPR in the morning. I have doing all day long, and I'm sick and I'm completely exhausted, right? But certainly I'm go on to Yamo and I'm energized. Where the fuck do you get the energy from?
It's what I like to do. I mean, like it's
That's
who I
who you
am. It's
are, right?
right.
That's
No,
who
I
you are, right? And because that's who you are, that
right.
amber is going to propel you to do things. So the question you ask is what propels you. I think that's who you are. If as long as you find that true being, then whatever you do cannot be stopped because it's the only thing that's gonna stop you is you cease to exist, which is like, hey, this is when you leave this earth. This is when you cease to exist as you. But if you, like I said, if you are a swimmer, I don't care if you're like 100 and 200 years old, you be swimming. It's not about, oh, I swim because it's Olympic or anything like. You could be swimming. If you are a tennis player, that's who you are. You're gonna play till the last breath. But hey, I have 1 more hour. Let's go. And I can play. I'm gonna go play. Right? You
Right.
think about that's how people are because this is what we call unstoppable. You are unstoppable already. It's just that people have piled shit on top of shit and cover
Yeah.
you and like completely drown you in a bunch of nonsense and bunch
Well,
of BS over
you're
the years.
anti-fragile when you find who you are, and you are super fragile and vulnerable when you have a bunch of layers of covering of bullshit that you don't really care about. It is very you are very fragile because like you don't know what's inside. I like the idea of like a diamond or something like that, right? Like it's in there, it's covered in a whole lot of stuff, and it's got to go take a lot of time to be processed and forged and all this stuff. It's always in there though, right? Like you gotta uncover it. The idea though of like all that surrounding shit around you is, and you keep adding more and more stuff to it. That's like the way that we all live our lives. We just adopt more and more crap that isn't really who
You're
we
no
want to
longer a
be. And
diamond when you
yeah,
gotta pile a bunch of dust
right,
and
right,
coal and a bunch of other elements that's completely cover you. You have a diamond that shines so brightly, and suddenly you just a piece of coal or a piece
yeah,
of dirt, a piece of rock somewhere, right? And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing is, we
Vulnerable then too. I mean, this is when you're at your like. If you could change the same sentence to say instead of the most dangerous creation of any society is a man that has nothing to lose, the most vulnerable of any society is a man that has everything to lose. Right? The most fragile of a society is a
I
person.
mean,
No,
I think the most dangerous is a person who knows exactly who he is.
oh yeah.
To me, that is more clear to me
Mhm.
than to talk about losing everything. You're not losing anything. You cannot lose yourself because you are purest element.
Right.
You cannot divide it any further. You cannot make it any further. The only thing you can do is shroud it with a bunch of crap.
This is what I think he means, though. They're dangerous because when you take away everything and you figure out that what you're talking about of, well, you can't take away who I really am anyway, and now you uncluttered all the other shit around me by taking everything from me, and now I can really see
I mean,
what
it's
it
a good
is,
thing that
like
they
then,
take the stuff away that he is not who he.
right.
You think about it.
Well, it's not
Yeah,
good, but I
I mean,
mean,
I
it's kind
think
of
that that's
bullshit. But
I think that's
it is what it
human
is.
perspective, though. Human
Right.
perspective. This is what I'm saying is, like, you remember I told you, you asked me this question because I didn't know about whatever you said about the guy, the centenarian, right?
Mhm.
I told you, like, you asked me because I have no idea what the book you read in the night, and I told you the secret to become a centenarian is to not kill yourself. I mean,
Kind of,
just
yeah.
do less,
Kind of,
right?
yeah.
So it's just remove
It's do the
all the
stuff you're
tough.
supposed to do and not do the stuff you're not supposed to do.
So you say,
Yeah.
hey, stop giving him bread, stop giving him gluten, stop giving him alcohol, stop giving him Coca-Cola. I mean, you're taking quote unquote worldly possession away from him.
Right.
Why are you depriving him of all the good in life? And people say, hey, you only live once. Go do other shit. This is what kills you.
Right.
Right? And I say, hey, don't give up the toxic, quote unquote, to me, those toxic is the things that you value.
Yep.
Hey, I want a good meal. I want the cake. I want the sugar. I want what all the things life has to offer. To me, that's the reverse of what the perspective, because human perspective is you're trying to acquire these things. These things are what kills you.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
You
Yeah.
acquire a job. You think about a job, right? You want a job. You go look for a job. The job is what makes you stressed. The job is what gives you,
Well, it makes you sleep bad. It makes you then eat bad. It makes you not exercise. It makes you sit all day long,
And
and
so,
your
the thing
muscles
is, to
atrophy, and
people,
like
exactly, you go on and on, and that is the catalyst. That is a downfall of who you are, of you as a person.
right.
And that's what I'm saying is that's what people want. Hey, I'm so happy. I have a job, and that job. But when we looking through the lens of poverty, that is your downfall.
Why do people get excited to get a job? Is it because of the community? Is it because of security? Like, I mean, what do you think makes it exciting for people when they get a job that they don't even know they even really like or not? Is it just taking on a new challenge and
It's
not,
okay. The thing is a bunch of lies, because the thing is, the biggest lie is tomorrow is a better day, right? Because the thing is, people go to work to a place and to do things they hate, and to do things like keep you off stuff that is they completely miserable, so that one day the hope is they can do what they want to do, which is, hey, I'm a fucking beaver. I want to go and play in the fucking desert, and slave away in a salt mine, so that one day I can maybe go and swim in a river where I can build my own fucking dam, right?
right?
That's the thing. If you think about it, everybody say, okay, why are you working? So I can get that. So the thing is, it's a biggest lie is for you to go get a job. So it's like I said, you're marketing, right?
Mhm.
This is one of the classic ways. Say, why does a boy want to buy a Lamborghini?
Because it's fast and it gets the
No,
girl.
because they want to get the girl.
Well, I mean, sometimes they like to just
No,
race
no,
cars.
no,
Well, why do you
no,
think that they race
no.
cars? Because
Why didn't they race cars? To be macho.
they're competitive. I mean, in a
Human
weird way,
nature has
competition.
only five. Like you're talking about,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I know where you're going with it.
I mean, the thing is, you only have only a few things, right?
Right.
That is like your security, right, and your ability to procreate. So when you get a car, it is one or two things: either to show that you are manly to the other guy, to be the, hey, I'm the alpha, or and not or but and so that I can get the female so I can procreate. That is your directive. You cannot change who you are,
Right.
right? And so
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
not about getting a Lamborghini. It is about creating that perception of status. It's what they want. So the same thing with
Yeah.
people is what you want is you want a job, right? The job is say, I love to get a job. I want to look at you. I'm looking for a job and I want to get this much pay, blah, blah, blah. So that one of these days, the hope is so they can get to do the things they want to do. So it is through all these layers of the lies, right? People say, hey, I
Right.
need this, I need that. And the thing is, if you tell them to go, hey, why can't you just bypass and go directly to the girl? And hey, ask a girl, say, hey, do you even want, you know, what is it you want?
Right,
Versus
right.
until they get to the point where they have the Lamborghini, and then you ask the girl, say, well, I don't really want that. I want something else. You didn't
Right.
ask until you get to that point, and then you get to the moment and you say, oh wow.
No, I mean, or when you lose everything, right? You know, when they take it all away, and you're like, oh, I just really just wanted somebody to hang out with and live my life with, and you're like, well,
Exactly.
I guess I didn't really need the Lamborghini in the first place, kind of thing, and that was just really a distraction, which is the point,
But
right? All the stuff
but the
is a
thing is,
distraction until
the
until
path
everything,
to
right? Well, that's what I'm saying is all the stuff that you're talking about, all the gunk around the diamond is it's
Mhm.
just a distraction from what's really inside, right? And like we do that all day long. That diamond, I guess, if you will, only gets revealed in two ways, in my opinion. One of them is through extreme pain and suffering, like James Baldwin experienced, like I experienced, right? You
Mhm.
know, and like a lot of people do.
Extreme pressure.
Uh, yes,
Imagine you
yeah,
take a piece of coal, right, that has a
right,
diamond in it, and you put pressure and heat to it. Eventually, all the gunk falls off. Then
right,
it reveals the diamond, because diamond, you put heat or whatever, it's still a diamond. It can't go anywhere,
right. And
right?
I'm sure there's a whole lot of ways for that to not go the right way too, where it turns into something really bad. But the other approach is kind of what we've always been advocating for through this whole entire journey is like we want to help people to discover for themselves in a balanced and controlled methodology.
And then the other one is by
Right.
random chance. Some people
Mhm.
just don't get suppressed for whatever reason. It's not like the world's out there to suppress you and make you become who you are, right? You have to
Right.
fight for who you are.
I
And
agree.
by the other way, it's random. It's by probability that you are in some kind of suppressions, and it was enough of a force and pressure for you to get rid of the gunk around you.
You know, I got to read you this thing from this morning. So I was doing my morning reflection with the little Daily Stoic book here,
Hmm.
and today's reflection was accepting what is. Ryan Holiday, you know, is obviously the author of this book. And he's right, and he's like, something happened that we wish had not. Which of these is the easiest thing to change? Our opinion or the event in the past? The answer is obvious. Accept what happened and change your wish that it had not happened. Stoicism calls this the art of acquiescence, the to accept rather than to fight every little thing. And the most practiced Stoics take it a step further. Instead of similarly accepting what happens, they urge us to actually enjoy what has happened, whatever that is. Nietzsche, many centuries later, coined the perfect expression to capture this idea of amor fati, a love of fate. It's not just accepting; it's actually loving everything that happens. This reflection this morning, so it was accepting what is, right, and really just basically saying love fate, right? Hey, this happened. I'm very happy that it happened. This is when I get into this is like a desirable disadvantages conversation that's going on, like in that narrative.
Well, there's
Somebody,
nothing desirable about this advantage. If you don't like something, you can't really love it. Don't pretend that you love it. To me,
exactly. This is what I was
my
getting at. Is like,
philosophy through this journey is that there's something that's gonna happen to you that is outside your control, right?
right,
And
and
don't
accepting it is
pretend,
fine.
don't
Right.
pretend that, hey, there's a bunch of frogs and I'm gonna start eating frogs and I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna like it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the thing is, this is what I'm saying. We have to be creative in how we use the things that happen to us and align it to the values, the core value that we hold. For
Mm-hmm.
example, a lot of people say, hey, when life gives you a lemon, you make lemonade. That's being created because you have your anchor, which is your core values. And when things throws you a lemon, you can make lemonade. You be creative in what life gives you. So
Right.
you can, but don't say, hey, I'm going to like lemons and I'm going to pretend I enjoy lemon. If I don't like frogs, right? Maybe I don't like frogs because maybe it's I don't know. There's different
Texture,
ways I
the
can use
whatever.
frogs.
It just
If there's a bunch of frogs, right? If there's a bunch of frogs, so okay, what do I do with it? Okay, I can go, well, what do I like? Well, I don't like frogs. Maybe I like birds, right?
I
Okay,
hate numbers. If you made me stare
I
at numbers all day long, I would hate my life.
like I said, if you don't like the frog, take the frog, feed it to the birds, and then eat the bird. You know what I mean? So be creative
Right.
in what you want. Don't say,
Yep.
hey, I'm gonna fucking eat a frog because I need to love the thing that happens to me.
Right.
Say no, don't be like that. Know who you
I
are.
agree.
Know what the thing is. If you say, "Hey, I love rotisserie chicken or whatever," I fucking make chop up the frog, turn it into some kind of pellet, feed it to chicken, right? Get all the nutrients, and then I'm gonna take the chicken and rotisserie and eat the chicken. If that's what I want, I'm not gonna pretend I'm gonna fucking like the frog. To me, that's
James
what I'm saying
Baldwin
is
doesn't have to
take
pretend
it
that he
and
likes to
take
be
it.
to be, not have equal rights and be able to live a life that he,
Exactly.
he doesn't have to go, oh, I like this fate, this
Yeah,
is fate,
yeah. Suppress
yeah, this
me.
is.
I mean, there's a lot of people who say one thing and then the other people say, well, that's wrong.
Well, the
They
people
go
the people
extremely opposite.
but the people that say what I just read are people that have never lost everything, right? Like, because
Hmm.
that's the honest God truth. I don't think they mean it in a bad way.
Well, I think
Understand.
it's they don't understand it enough.
Right.
Okay, because the thing is, when you see something, right? When you see something, I see a one. I see
No, you
like
fired me. Like, you took my job from me. Like, I love that you took my job. Like, that's the shit. Like, the stuff that they've lost in their life are things that they don't really care about. Let's just be honest. If you're gonna say that oh yeah, well, I got fired from a job, like, well, that's okay.
you're just lying to yourself. You're just fooling
Right.
yourself because you think, hey, oh yeah, it's fate that I lose my job. You're making up some stories, an excuse.
You can make up the story too. I'm saying that if you can somehow turn something that you perceive as a negative event in your life into something
I can go.
positive, all I'm saying is that negative event didn't really mean anything to you in the first place anyway. It was a worthless situation anyway, and now you're just, turning it into you're just it didn't matter at all. It never
But then
mattered. Is
this
the
is
point.
this
Like,
is this is a problem though, because to me, it's like the let me people go surfing and say, hey, I only destroy half of what I should destroy. I am a fucking hero, right?
right.
That's excuse you give, and to me that doesn't make sense.
It,
But to a lot of people, and the proof is in putting it. That book is a fucking popular book. Everybody say, hey, this guy's great, and to me, it's like that's ridiculous. Because I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna punch you in the face, Chris. I am a fucking nice guy, kid. I didn't kill you. I only punch you in the face and then
I didn't put
paralyze you.
knuckles. I didn't put bare knuckles on, and I didn't.
The brass knuckles, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm a fucking nice person. I'm merciful. You should worship.
And I could have hit you 10 times. I mean, it's
Well, that's what I'm saying is, that's the fucking excuse. That's the rot. That's the rot. This is the crap, the BS, and all the bullshit that's it pile onto who you are. And
it's like
every time you keep taking it, you become something who is not you.
I mean, it's probably like a fighter stepping in the ring against Mike Tyson, where they're like, "Oh yeah, well, if I was going to fight Mike Tyson, all you have to do is this, this, and this," and then you get blown in the fucking face and you're knocked out on the floor, and you're like, "Okay, all right, now I get it." Like, you can't just sit around and
Mike Tyson,
about,
Mike Tyson, he's big and he's be nimble. All
right.
you have to do is dance around, blah blah
Just
blah.
be water,
Right?
man. Just
It's
be
like
water. Go in there and be
right?
water.
Be
like,
water, exactly. And you go in there, pow, like, knock unconscious, and you wake up like 3 months later. And say, what the fuck happened? And then you say, well, all this Nietzsche and Stoic crap doesn't work.
Right. You can be water against me when I'm punching you, right? Like, that's fine. Because I'm not gonna hurt you. Like, when you get hurt, the philosophy goes out the fucking window real fast. Real fast. That's the first thing to go is reading shit like that, where you're like, hey, it's a desirable disadvantage, Chris. Yeah, your face may be smashed in on one whole side of your face, but now you can.
And people will make a bunch of excuses for things to happen to them. You get smashed in the face, and you got to sit in bed. You got to lay in bed for 3 months. You didn't have to go to work. And to me, that's just a bunch of lies. You're just lying to yourself.
Well, this goes back to the Stockdale paradox, right? Like you can't be in a crisis situation and just, like, the optimists are the ones that die first, right? Because you can only tell yourself so many stories without embracing the reality that's staring you in the face. If you're on fire, you're on fire, right? Like, this isn't
you're on
like
fire. Feel it.
right. You're like, when bad
It's
shit's
a warm
happening,
blanket. It could be toast.
you can't just not accept what's in front of you and try to reframe it.
I mean, this
into
is what
something
people
else,
put their heads in the sand and had a tornado.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
still gonna come.
And it's still bad shit happens. But then again, this goes back to my original message. The people that do survive this, the General Stockdales of the world that get out of the prisoner of war camps, the people, the James Baldwins that write these things and keep pushing, and the Rosa Parks, the Martin Luther King Jr.'s, and the civil rights fight, all these people that had everything taken from them and said, fuck it. Like, no, I know who I am, and I've figured out a way to get through this and to survive. I'm accepting this. Like, that's fine. I'm going to accept it, but then I'm going to fight, and I'm going to be the person that I want to be. And, I don't really care, because you've already taken everything else.
This is important to me, though, because you do not have the willpower or the energy to fight using something who you are not.
No, not
when
at all.
you
No,
come
no.
when you come to Yomo, right? you are fucking exhausted. If we're talking about some keyboard shit again, you can last 5 more minutes. But when you're talking about things that matters to you, we're talking about living for two. You're talking about the thing that you do. You and I were talking about over time. I mean, it's fucking 10:13 right now.
I gotta go to bed.
Exactly. You gotta go. You're over time.
Right.
It has to come from somewhere, and only come from the true you. That's what I'm saying. Is you have things to do, and it's late already, and you're already past 13 minutes.
There's something that you've never experienced this around me, because like this is a running joke amongst like my best friends and stuff, and people that have known me my entire life. I get really, really sweaty hands, right? Like it's gross. Like it grosses me out sometimes. Like I don't even like to touch my wife sometimes. Like my hands are dry right now, but it gets really, like they're either bone dry or they're like dripping sweat, right? Like it's when it happens now these days. It's when my hands are dry, usually when I'm relaxed and I'm doing the stuff that I like to do and I'm in my element. My hands are always wet all day long when I'm on calls. And as soon as the fucking day ends, when I'm talking about stuff that I don't care about all day long, my hands, I'm like pitting out. I'm like, sweating. My hands are sweaty.
Everybody has that symptom to a certain degree. I think you have more.
It's probably more visible to other people, but I'm like locked down. The tension in my body and my being, right? I know it.
Your cells knows it, and it releases the sweats, right?
Like, so as soon as the day is over, though, it's like my hands magically stop getting sweaty again, and I can go sit down and hang out with my son and have this conversation. Do whatever I have to do, like live my life. My hands don't sweat in the morning when I'm out on a run or when I'm, typing in the morning. The only times that ever happens is if fucking Luca's like stressing me out, and I'm like, I can see him on the video monitor where I'm like, oh god, I gotta get my reflection out, or something like that. Like that's probably the only time that the anxiety ever ratchets up, when I'm doing stuff that I really love to do. But like it's when I'm in my own element, in my own space, like my hands don't really sweat that much.
If you pressure me too much and it's not who I am, I'm gonna quit. Right. But if it's something that's who I am, I can't quit.
I mean, it literally viscerally triggers your body to be not like, you have to like almost grit through it, and you're like, all right, like my body's like, thinks like my heart's probably pumping and
it thinks you're dying.
Yeah, I mean, it thinks I'm exercising. It thinks I'm exerting a lot of extra effort that I'm not, because I'm exerting a lot more effort to grit through that. Like you just said, this call, I came into this call tired as shit. Like I'm really tired this week because I think I got a little bit of a cold for my son, and I've been really tired every night when I've got on these calls with you. I can feel it in my jaw. I can feel it in my eyes are heavy. I'm just ready to go to bed, But to your exact point, though, energy comes from somewhere. I'm not gritting my way through this. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, your body's in harmony and it's relaxed and calm. When you're not doing
it just generate energy whenever it is compatible with your body, right? Whatever you do, compatible with your body generates energy. And that's where these people are able to endure the things that matters to them. But if it doesn't matter to them,
and they're only going to do that path. Right.
They're going to quit and they're going to give up. They're going to die, because they think that's how we are built.
I'm sure Rosa Parks in the back of these buses every day was back there sweating. Her hands were sweating. She was probably pitting out. She's probably back there just gritting through it, going, these motherfuckers, I'm so fucking tired of this fucking bullshit. And then one day she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to be this anymore. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to release, all this crap. I'm just going to go sit down where I want to fucking sit down because I want to, like, fuck you. It probably was releasing. It probably was freeing for her. I'm probably going to guess, like, I don't know. I've never talked to her. I don't know her story very much, other than what we know anecdotally through history. But my point being is, like, probably, James Baldwin writing these things was probably freeing for him, where he's just like, you know what, fuck it. I don't care. Like, do whatever you want to do to me.
This is what we mean when you align with who you're supposed to be. Things is going to propel you. Well, this is the answer to the question: is what propels you? Is the alignment to who you are. Doing things that aligns to who you are propels you.
Exactly.
So it's not external. It's not like what people do to you. Because, like I said, there's a lot of people who has atomic bomb events happen to them, and a lot of people succumbs to whatever, like drug, alcohol, death, suicide, whatever. Why Chris? Why Chris is
it's
building a military tower. It's you. It's who you are. Inside, right?
But I just need to be like crystal clear about this. This isn't about me at all. This is about, and I'm sure James Baldwin would say the same thing. This isn't about him. There's something else out there that is driving me to say, be the best person you can be for that person. Like that's really what it is.
But right? I think why would that idea matters to you? This is why I'm gonna call it alignment. You already have that, and you would just Your eyes were opened by your daughter. Your daughter's opened your eyes to a bunch of crud that's covering you, and
Oh
you
yeah,
see that, and you owe that to your daughter. But the thing is, what you do today, it is who you are already.
I
You don't
agree.
change
She
internal in inside who you are.
right. She being the being that she was, and living and fighting and doing what she needed to do to be the best Amelia that she could be every single day, opened my eyes to the power of humanity in general, to go, shit, like life's pretty precious and you don't have a whole lot of time here. And this isn't something that is, a deep thought that a lot of people don't understand, right? Like this is,
I mean, this is a thought that
seeing
people.
it,
I think people
seeing it
understand this at some point in their life.
at some point
They
they do,
they
right?
will
Yeah,
see they will see what you see today at some point in their life.
right. They're gonna go, it doesn't,
Unfortunately,
none of it matters.
majority of them see them at the end of their life,
Right,
not where you are, not where am I at, because I don't see. Like I mean, you see before I did, right?
right,
But I'm saying is I can't see it. Like I told you, I'm still struggling to figure out what I need to say to my younger self to change my ways. I just
we
can't
can't.
see it. I can't see it. So I'm saying is
I
everybody will see what you see at some point in their life. It's
right,
just majority of the people won't see it until the end when they run out of time. And most of the people can say, oh wow, or whatever whatever that like, hey, this is
suggest, yeah,
this is funny, but it's not funny kind of
right.
say.
Like fuck. Like
Yes.
fuck. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's a good spot. Let's end it there because I got to go to bed officially. So the question we can leave with everybody is, what propels you forward? Something to think about. I mean, because it's important. Like if it's not energy toward who you want to, then reconsider. You'll burn out eventually.
Miserable. You'd be
Yeah.
miserable if you're not doing what is it that aligns to you.
Yep. Thanks for joining and appreciate your time. And we will see you all on Monday because I'm actually off on vacation tomorrow. Thanks for joining and we'll see you soon.
See you next time. Good night.